A muscled body, sleek, spirited, power and grace on 4 legs. The horses are harnessed and hitched. Just hang on and away we go. Hi, I'm Bill Landry, and it's time for a little horsing around on Heartland Tonight.
It's the best of the Heartland Series with Bill Landry on Heartland Tonight.
Tennessee is calling, rolling hills all dressed in green. Hear the Heartland calling, like an Appalachian spring. Smoky Mountain night is falling, the Heartland's calling me, calling me.
Time and again, we've all been told, quit that horsing around, be serious. Well, seriousness is all well and good, in moderation. Tonight, for instance, it's serious business for a young boy taking the reins of a team of plow horses for the first time. And a man fires up his father's old forge. Lest we get too serious, we'll play a game of horseshoes and get inside the mind of a mule.
But he may still have some things that I don't think about that's in his mind.
On a horse, it's all about the ride, the comfort, the gait, the rhythm of the movement, especially when a person's been in the saddle for hours. There's no better ride than Tennessee's gift to the horse world, the Tennessee walking horse. He was bred of war. From sturdy farm stock he came, possessing a trait not found in any other horse. He moves like a river flows, graceful and swift. The hindquarters tuck, the head nods, a front leg lifts, and the ride is smooth. This horse's movements defies its humble origins. Today he is a symbol of the great state of Tennessee itself, the Tennessee Walker. It was during the war between the states that the seed was sown. The conflict that divided our country united the plantation horses of the South with the trotters of the North, and Tennesseans recognized the value of this new stock. In the center of the state, the famous Walker of Tennessee was born, rapid, steady, and reliable, with 3 hooves always on the ground. Several hours on a traditional steed not only left the riders tired but sore. A walker's gait is as easy on the body as the soul. It was greeted with open arms by those here in the mountains of East Tennessee. Now rural doctors could get around to heal more bodies, and country preachers could save more souls. And the horses' way of walking was as unruffled as their temperament. These horses were hard to spook. You could take them anywhere. But the Tennessee Walker was bred for more than easy riding. He was bred for hard work. Roy Nance appreciates the horse's stamina. During the 1930s, Roy had a mail route in Granger County that he traveled daily on the back of a Tennessee walking horse.
And he had 1 hour and 20 minutes to make that there 14 miles. Snowed and rained, heavy loaded, or anything, but he'd make it in that 1 hour and 20 minutes.
What was his name?
Rex, a walking horse, will get you over more territory than any kind of horse you can ride.
Come on, Rex. Come on, girl. Come on.
We didn't have to use no spur, no whip, or nothing on him to use.
Once it gets in its pace, it'll stay in its pace?
Yes, sirree. Why, he'll just keep going on down the road. But if you ever rode a Tennessee Walker and then rode anything else, Tennessee Walker would be your pick.
Left behind in the dust of a bygone era, 20th century technology changed the horse's role forever. He went from plowing a field to winning worldwide fame. But some things stay the same. When it comes to getting a smooth, level ride, there's still no comparison to a Tennessee walking horse. Do you miss it?
Oh, of course I miss riding a horse. I'd rather carrying the mail to where I want them. And if I had me a horse now, I'd ride him now.
And if you had one, you'd have what kind?
A walking horse.
Sitting around a fire listening to the hounds run a fox across the field.
We sat over on the chairs, Miss Lesson, that's all there to it.
Nothing quite compares to it. Then again, a different version of an old East Tennessee tradition began here not long ago, fox hunting.
But fox hunting was kept alive by the night hunters who sit around the fire and listen to their hounds run, and they kept the hounds alive and kept the foxes in good shape.
If tradition is what you're after, this event is steeped in it. Thanksgiving morning begins the hunt season with the centuries-old blessing of the hound.
Protect those who ride with the strong arm of thy love. Give them grateful.
These hounds that we have are descendants from the hounds that the Marquis de Lafayette gave George Washington after the Revolutionary War. They track like a bloodhound, and that's the sport, is the tracking. We never kill a fox.
But no fox wanted to play on this day. The riders herded dogs instead. They took pleasure in the jumps, in the countryside, and as in many traditions, the shared company. Next on Heartland Tonight, a boy learns some lessons about hard work. Hanging onto the handles of a plow behind a team of spirited horses makes for a day of hard work. For Bill and Joey Jones, the reward for their hard work is more than a plowed field. Heaven is a river bottom. It's a set of reins and a pair of plow handles. So writes Tennessee author Jim Dykes. The story is called Heaven is Two Strong Horses and a Turning Plow. Plowing. Once it was 10 hours a day, turning 3 acres of land, 20 miles of walking for $1. Today it is a gift, a linking of generations, a bond between a father and a son. Bill Jones remembers how it's done. His boy Joey doesn't yet, but he will.
I'm trying to.
Whoa. Hey, south, man. No way. What? Don't do your hands. An old timer's no better.
Thing was rusty this morning, wasn't it?
That's where you try that. Yeah.
Turning the sod, plowing the earth all daylight long, learning the feel of the plow handle, knowing to keep the rumps in the furrow, feeling the rhythms of the horses in the earth, turning as one, turning the sod, plowing the earth all daylight long.
He settled down bunches and bunches since we first started this morning, didn't he? The wind feels good. It's getting hotter here. Just have me some ice water.
Don't try to fight it. Fight it's supposed to keep me out.
But a team of horses listens best to one voice, the voice that tugs on the leather reins and metal bits and belongs to the man who guides the plow.
Come on, Murray. Get back down that far.
We've watched Joey Jones grow up working alongside his father Bill.
Come here, me.
They put in the seed,
Oh, now.
worked at the cutoff saw, and Joey drove a team in a story about Hoop Creek. Heartland Tonight will continue with bonds forged in fire. A special bond develops between a father and son by working together. For Dave Owens, that bond was forged in fire by his father Osiro.
Anybody in this country will tell you that Dad could weld and could temper metal better than anybody they knew of.
As a boy, Dave Owens worked by his father's side. The great smith is gone now, but today on the Heartland Series, his shop and much of his craft come to life.
The job of a blacksmith was more or less just to keep the farmer, tools, and his equipment in operation.
Because he was crippled, Dave's father couldn't do farm work, but he could wield a mighty hammer. By sharpening plow points, he began his lifelong trade. What did he charge a man for that?
He would work 35, 40 minutes to an hour, and if he got a quarter or 30 cents, well, he was doing pretty good. Yeah, Dad stayed busy all he could do. Dad could almost make anything out of metal that he wanted to make once he got the idea. This is the job that everybody in the country said only Dad could do right.
At 15, Osiro Owens took a bullet in his back, where it stayed till his death at 81 in 1978. That bullet cost him a leg, but it never slowed him down.
Back when we was kids, I want to tell you this. Back when we was kids, this strap here was a double duty thing. It wasn't screwed in there then when we was kids. So if we got out of line a little bit, well, hit one hand, you could jerk the strap out real fast like, and you know the rest of the story. Now come out here and I'll show you, I've got a far already going out here, and I'll demonstrate to you how you put a wagon tar on the wheel. There's your pair of tongs, you can help me.
The tire was made slightly smaller than its wheel. When heated, it'll expand to fit over it. You think that thing's hot enough?
I believe it's probably hot enough. You get halfway over there and I'll get halfway and we'll...
Holy mackerel. Once cooled, the tire shrinks down to a tight fit.
Here's one of the tires that Dad has put on maybe 40 or 45 years ago. These tires are a thing that's never used much no more. You got to start off on gasoline first, and then it switches over to kerosene.
You want to run it for us?
Yeah, I'll be glad to.
Dave Owens' father was the genuine article, a jack of all trades. He ran a grist mill, power saws, even a planing mill, all driven by this engine, vintage 1903.
If blacksmithing had stayed in where a man could have made a living at blacksmithing, I'm sure one of the boys would have probably done it. So that old farmer would be back in operation again.
They were of an age that lingers, of mule and 3-foot plow. For Osiro Owens and the men of his breed, Longfellow's words ring true. The smith, a mighty man is he, with large and sinewy hands. Years ago, a summertime gathering wouldn't be complete without a horseshoe pit. The clatter of metal against metal or the soft thud of an errant shoe can still be heard in some parts.
Diesel's getting better. What is it they say? Things get better with age. story was if you'd always hold that up there and spit through that shoe, you know, it was a ringer. I haven't tried that
Well,
yet.
you could lose your pulse, too.
The game has changed little in its 2,000-year history. Many of us remember it played under shady trees at family reunions in the summertime. It was brought to America on the feet of work animals by the early settlers from England. There the game had been played since the 1st century by Romans who once controlled that part of the world. Then as now, pitching horseshoes gives us a chance to relax, to while away the hours on long summer days.
Somebody in the community always had a team of horses, you know, and that made good horseshoe pitching.
I believe some of these shoes come off of some runaway horses the way they're moving.
Evidently.
Close don't count. Oh! I'm glad they got that.
Put the next one in the pit, Cecil. That's better.
Told you, Paul, you and Cecil ought to got you chew that tobacco. You did a lot better.
Yeah. That's good.
Now that counts.
We'll give you that one, Cecil.
Give it, he's gonna take it.
Okay, now I ought to beat that. I didn't, did I? My goodness, Paul. Gonna need my bicycle. That looks pretty good. How close am to it, Larry?
Lay it in there, lay it in there. Lay it in that more, Cecil. Now, don't get over anxious. You got them all down here.
I believe we ought to take the pictures and let them run the horseshoes.
Yeah.
What do you think?
You want another ringer? Sure. All right.
Out there.
Like that one?
No, that ain't no good. That went out of the box too. Them sound like mine.
The game of horseshoes, as enduring as the summer, as steadfast as old friends and laughter.
Put in the pin. That's better.
You're pegging at it.
Next up, mules.
I don't consider these mules stubborn. They get a little contrary sometimes. But I may get contrary too.
Mules, stubborn, ornery, cantankerous. And those are the good qualities. But there are those who swear by them and swear at them.
They say that is mule style, is being stubborn. But I don't consider these mules stubborn. They get a little contrary sometimes. But I may get contrary too.
A cross between a male donkey and a female horse. The mule's reputation precedes it. But not here on G.B. Tulloch's place. After a lifetime of working stock, he's come to know mules inside and out.
A mule is a lot like a kid. You train a kid. You tell him now he's had enough candy, don't bother that candy dish anymore now for a while. But that little hand will go crawling back over there, you know? You have to make your word clear till he understands what you mean. Don't get any more candy now, see? So you got to do the same thing with the mule. When you start, you finish it somehow, right then.
Always watch the back end. Make your words clear. That's not a bad idea when you're dealing with us two-legged creatures, too. What's your name?
I'm G.B. Tulloch.
No, the mule.
Oh, the mule. Well, that's Mag.
She was an outlaw when I started with her.
She's no outlaw now. After 7 years with GB, she's more reliable than a John Deere. Why would you have a mule as opposed to a horse?
They will do more work. They will eat less feed. It'll take less to keep them. They've got a longer lifespan.
GB's been around mules so long that contemplating the mind of a mule is not so far-fetched a pursuit. If a mule talked, what would it say to you?
I wouldn't want to quote that right now.
They got a pretty foul.
He's listening all the time. That's the reason those ears will come up and go to work, and he's listening.
He's waiting for somebody to tell him something, or?
Yeah, or he sees something, or he thinks he does. A lot of times he just thinks he sees it, or he thinks he hears it.
And you have to train him not to think for himself, but to think the way you want him to think.
I want him to think with me, but he may still have some things that I don't think about that's in his mind. They've got a mind of their own until it gets changed for some reason. One of them, when I was training them, one of them decided she got tired. She just laid down. And I was wondering what was wrong. I thought if she was sick, I wouldn't work her. But I thought again. I thought, well, if I give you a cut with this whip, if you're sick, you won't get up. And if you're not, you will. And I give her a cut with that whip, and boy, she come off that ground just like that. Ah. Whoop. Get over, mate. Go ahead. I've done it all my life. Oh, I like horses too, but I'm really attached to these mules here now. Nothing wrong with a good mule. Nothing wrong with a good mule.
Progress has left much of farm life behind. But in our increasingly complex world, horses and mules still have their place. See you next week on Heartland Tonight.
Hop it.